My free flight flying was much different in 2020 than in the last few previous years. I flew mainly smaller, low-cost airplanes, not my contest models, and if I lost them or if they were stuck on a building, it wasn't a big deal. The times I did fly, the wind was really low, and a lot of times it was like early morning or in the evening. The good part about this field, it was only 3 miles from my house. I did try RDT on this field, but still, there just wasn't enough room that if it drifted at all when it came down, it could hit an obstacle. When I did fly my little rubber-powered foam models, I always seemed to wind it up just as much as I could and push the performance on the field. With my E36 using the Emax timer, I could get a fairly long electric motor run and then do a quick DT or let it glide for just a few seconds and still keep it on the field. At least I could see the transition in the power pattern. What seemed to work the best for this field is to do single channel RC on free flight models. First I started with a little dip tow line glider, and I created a launcher and towed it up. At least I could get some tow experience, and I tried not to use the RC at all while I was towing. And I just used it kind of to keep it on the field as it was gliding. But I fell and tripped, so then I went to a high start launch, and that seemed to work better, and it wasn't so dangerous. Next, I tried using single channel RC on a half-A old-timer free flight known as a Smarty. I had a little trouble with the RC to start with, but then I got better equipment in it and it worked well. I got it trimmed so I didn't have to use the RC in the climb much at all, and then just used it to keep it on the field. But I think the little bit of extra weight and a wing that was kind of minimal structure stressed it too much, and it crashed at one point when it folded the wing. I didn't make it to any contest this year because of the virus. I did do the Sky Bunny Postal on the small field and had a best flight of 98 seconds. Previous years, before COVID, I had gone to free flight contests in North Branch in Minnesota, and also I had gone to the Nats in Muncie, Indiana, 4 years in a row. That was canceled this year. I probably could have made it to North Branch, but I just didn't feel like I should travel with the virus raging in the state. I sure hope I can get to both contests next year. Looking forward to it. The most memorable flight I had from the small field using the single channel RC was in a P30 model called the Super 30. Here I launch it, and I didn't touch the RC for like 2.5 minutes, and finally at that point I put it into a spiral dive to bring it back onto the field. I did get to fly my larger free flight models from a couple of farm fields. This field here is about 40 acres and it's about 45 miles away. You have to use a tracker because it's really tall grass. You'd never find a model without it. And then I got to fly later in the year off a larger field after the soybeans had been harvested. But there's some stubble out there that pokes holes in tissue wings. But I really felt fortunate to be able to use this larger field and had some really good flying there. Well, that's a brief summary of my free flight in 2020.